Welcome to the Spectator Mode Podcast. I'm Scorpa. I'm here with Ed, Fed, and Mary. And
Hi.
we're going to be talking about a few things today. One of the topics being teenagers and how they're portrayed in media and how other generations see teenagers. Another topic we're going to be talking about is gaming, because everyone loves gaming. We can't argue with that.
Kind of, you know.
And then we're going to have a bit of general chat at the end about what's going on in life at the minute. Virus, GCSEs, a bit of general chat. Right. Should we start with our first topic?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So, in the news at the minute, obviously, the Xbox Series X and the PS5 have been revealed.
Yeah.
How
And
much actually are they?
how much?
They're
So
very
the yeah, they're very
800 quid.
expensive.
800 quid.
They're not 800 quid actually.
They're not.
No, they're about 500 quid. Both of
Wow.
That's
them.
actually like fair. That's not that.
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So, how much is the Series X?
I thought it would be like
I
really,
think
really
it's around-
expensive.
Yeah, it is. For the Xbox Series X is $500, and the
Wow.
Xbox Series
Yeah.
S is $300.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
that's
that's
not
not
that
that
expensive.
bad.
So yeah, no, it's way less than people expected. People were because of the specs that were released. People were people were expecting it to be like 800 quid because of the specs, and the PS5 I think is $550.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time that any kind of console is going to
Let
have
me have a
over
look.
120 FPS. You know.
Oh
Kind of
damn!
insane.
Yeah,
Wow.
the PS5 costs $500, and
Oh,
the
so yeah.
PS5 Digital Edition costs $400.
Damn, that's actually awesome. That's but
So
like
they're
again,
actually a lot cheaper than people thought.
yeah.
Let's talk controllers. I'm quite impressed with PlayStation's new controller.
To be honest, I can't stand Xbox controllers. You know, at all. Xbox One.
I
Oh,
really
why?
like the PlayStation controller.
My favorite controller ever was the PlayStation 2 controller. That's the best controller in my
You
opinion.
still have one of those, don't you?
Yeah, and I have a PlayStation 3, but like I don't use it anymore. Since...
The Xbox controller, the new one, I found quite underwhelming. Purely because it's pretty much the same as the previous Xbox One controller, but with some grippy triggers and an extra button. Whereas the PS5 have completely redesigned their controller and made it a lot more like futuristic.
They've made it look really, really cool.
It's
like,
really cool.
Yeah, the PS5 looks like a router for your internet, and then the Xbox is a mini fridge.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I thought the PS4 Pro looked like a printer, so
Fair enough. No, but the new controllers the new PS5 controllers look exactly like Xbox controllers, which I don't like. So
It looks
So-
more like, I don't know. It just looks bigger. Like
yeah, a lot bigger. They are a lot bigger.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's
But,
about it. But like
The Xbox Series S, I was quite surprised in the size. It is a lot smaller than the Series X, obviously, and it's actually smaller than both the Xbox One X and One S.
that,
Oh.
that's kind of.
So yeah, it's in size comparison. Yeah, it's considerably smaller. But I want to talk backwards compatibility. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's basically when a new console comes out, obviously all the games from the previous console, people aren't just gonna, leave
Yeah.
behind and buy the same games
Oh, you
for
can't
another
buy- yeah.
console. But backwards compatibility for Xbox One and Xbox Series X is looking very promising. Nearly all of the games that are on Xbox One will be on Xbox Series X, as far as I know. But the Xbox Series X has a feature that I think Xbox One has, which is you can just pull up that sidebar and then change games in an instant. But Xbox Series X, you can keep games open in the background on like standby. So if you wanted to switch games, you'll be from, for example, Rocket League into Red Dead Redemption 2 in about 25 seconds. Just
I know,
where
it's
you left,
insane.
where you left off. No like saving and reloading. You literally straight where you left off. It's insane. Loading times have been cut considerably as well.
That is very impressive.
I know, but like, you know, I'm not really an Xbox player, you know, since the new graphics cards come out.
Yeah.
The 3090.
Eddie, do you want to talk about the 3090?
Well, yeah, so the graphics card is basically, you know, one of the most important part of the computers that allows you to run all the video games for you. And, you know, recently the brand new one has come out, which, you know, is dropping for like 700 quid, I think, which is pretty expensive, but it's pretty good. It's really good, actually. It's incredible. You know, like we're talking 244 frames a game, you know, without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I heard that AMD was trying to match that with their graphics card.
It's probably not going to happen since.
They're trying to match it. I don't know how far they're going to get with that, but yeah, they're attempting to make one that's similar to that.
Has the new Call of Duty game come out yet?
Cold War. It's on
Cold
open
War.
beta.
Damn.
So yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was announced about a month ago, I think, and that was expected. Partly because people just predicted it.
Mm-hmm.
And they predicted it was going to be in another Black Ops game, seeing as they got a Call of Duty Modern Warfare as the last one and Warzone as the most recent one.
Yeah.
And there was a load of footage that also got leaked from devs, like dev builds that got leaked. And like about a 5-minute clip got put on Twitter and YouTube. Where people, but it was basically showing new game modes that hadn't been showcased before.
Yeah.
Which was where people, from like the map and how the game worked, predicted it was going to be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And
that's what happens. That happens in all games, you know. Before the game gets released, a bunch of info brokers just try finding the files and see what's new things. Even when games are out, you know, any new game that gets released, you know, before they release the update, you know, it happened literally. You know, the new game called Valorant, you know. Any new update that would happen, like, you know, a couple of weeks before the update would get released, you know, info brokers would look through all the files to find the brand new, like when the brand new hero came out, you know, we already knew about all of her abilities right just before she got released, which meant that we all had an upper hand basically.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I'm quite into racing games, and obviously the current Need for Speed game is Need for Speed Heat. And that was meant to have quite a long lifespan. Need for Speed games were traditionally released every year, but and that means that we're due a Need for Speed game. But judging by EA has pretty much closed down the studio that was making these Need for Speed games. Saying, quote, they didn't find enough talent in Ghost, and they closed it. So they've brought back one of their old friends, Criterion, which you might know if you've played any of the Burnout games. Criterion made them, which some people aren't happy about because Criterion have been known for long crash cutscenes and quite, you know, like animated and light-hearted graphics. Which isn't really what the Need for Speed franchise needs after Need for Speed Heat. Because Need for Speed Heat looked amazing. Honestly, it looked pretty much true to life. And going back to Criterion, people weren't really happy about because they thought, oh no, we're just going back to how it was before. And Criterion hadn't worked with EA since. Oh no, they hadn't worked on Need for Speed games since about 2011.
Damn, that's a long time ago.
And now they're back again. But I don't think it's going to be released until late 2021 at this rate.
What about?
But
What about?
people have
yeah.
already leaked footage of literally like, and I'm talking like there's one car that is fully rendered. All of the other ones are just grain models. The world is literally just like tubes.
Lovely.
Like
Great.
the buildings are just tubes.
Top quality
It's-
graphics, brother.
It is so early in development, and people have already leaked footage.
Great, amazing. But what about a new game? No, not a new game, like an old game that's become popular. You know, we're talking about Among Us. That game has
Yes,
become
Among
incredibly
Us.
popular.
Red
Among
Sauce,
Us
Red
has been
Sauce.
taking the world by storm. Mayhal, do
Red
you want to take
sauce.
this one?
Do I? Well, Among Us, I feel like it's really popular because it's just easy to play with your friends.
Yeah.
You can make any server around the world. And it's just generally like a fun game to play if you just want to sit down and yell at your friends for a little while.
Yeah, and like suspect everyone. You know, you can't trust anyone. It
It's-
makes you doubt your friendship even more. You know.
it destroys friendships and families.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's sort of the same idea of like Monopoly or something like that, where like it's literally everyone versus everyone. Like
Yes.
there
Yeah.
is no like Monopoly is like one game that you would sit down with your family and play, and you would all argue because it's just one of those games.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is the same with Among Us. Because you would just, you will argue about who the imposter is, and there is tactics, but most of the tactics don't, it just depends on who you're playing with. Especially if you're playing with random people, it can be very complicated.
If you're playing with friends, it's a
it's
lot
amazing.
more reasonable because people don't just vote you out and then everyone believes you.
Well, no,
Like,
when you're playing your friends,
Well,
everyone just votes you
well.
out. Everyone
well,
votes you out.
if we're talking about our friends, then yeah.
Then I get bullied.
I always get killed first. So
Yeah, you do. Yeah, the game is great. You know.
And
yeah,
especially
we
when
had
you mess around with things.
definitely.
That's some of the funniest things.
The game's 2 years old. Like it came out in 2018.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
They're
around for
already
2
working
years.
on Among Us 2. Like before the
Jesus.
game was popular, like as popular as it is now, they started working on Among Us 2 and then the game just blew up.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
excited for Among Us 2 now.
I got-
That'll be
okay.
It's
interesting.
gonna be 3D.
that'd be horrible.
How are you
First
gonna have like
person.
5 imposters and there's gonna be like 20 crewmates?
Yeah, Among Us has 135,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch right now, which is
yeah.
incredible. It's over like it's the 5th most watched game in Twitch right now. That's insane.
Fortnite has completely
It's so
dropped.
dead, you know.
Fortnite is dead now, and
Well, not
I'm
really.
kind of glad.
Even after Fortnite,
it was gaining a lot of popularity,
Mhm.
and I think all games deserve to die down.
But wasn't
um,
like Fall Guys like
Oh yeah.
Fall Guys, I was surprised about actually because I
PC.
thought that would be still going.
Yeah,
But that's fallen off now.
Yeah, it's fallen off the bandwagon. It used to be very high up, but now,
Yeah, Fall Guys was at one point the most streamed game on Twitch.
yeah, for
and
like
the
a very
most
short
viewed
period of time.
game. No, for about a month it was.
Mm, yeah.
And then Among Us got popular, and bang, Fall Guys is dead.
Yeah, basically.
Literally.
it's that chain, isn't it? Whereas like one new game comes along and every other game is just unless you like seriously like the game that's popular at the moment and you're going to stick with it, the next popular game is going to come along and it's just going to destroy the previous.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's kind of what happens with most things, unless actually, unless it's an incredibly popular game, that's actually a good way to like, get the market up. If there isn't many games that are popular at a certain time, bringing in a really good game can get you a lot of money and a lot of, that's kind of what happened with Fall Guys. They were like, okay, No games are like at the top of its peak right now, and then that game became incredibly popular. But sadly, they did it at the wrong time because out of nowhere comes a 2 year game that like it's very simple, and bam, it's now one of the most played games in Twitch. So
Literally.
But I also
Yeah.
wonder how long Among Us, continue to be popular for.
yeah, because it can,
Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite was long time. Like,
Well, yeah. Well,
around-
it's still top 10, so
It's
it's
still,
not died. It's just not as popular as it used to be.
yeah, like
which-
it's still up there despite everyone. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
it personally, and I know a lot of other people don't like it. But like, it's just that sort of stigma is how long is it going to stay popular until the next game's going to knock it down.
Exactly. Because the game isn't like first-person shooters and sandbox games where the game eventually does get a bit boring. You can't have 400 hours on Among Us unless you can't spend hours and hours. You spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with your mates until you get bored and get off. So, the game isn't bad. It's just it's got its downfalls. The game when you create a very simple game, you have to think about how it's a very casual game. The more complex a game is, the less casual it becomes.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's it depends on what's going to happen. It could stay there for a long time if no games decide to rival it. So yeah.
So if you're interested, if you subscribe to PS Plus or Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, your games for October are Need for Speed Payback and Vampire, and Xbox Game Pass, I believe you have Doom Eternal, Drake Hollow.
That's great.
Brutal Legend and Forza Motorsport 7. Oh,
Yeah,
and
I-
Iconfell.
Doom
I think
Doom
like-
Eternal is so good. Oh my god.
I might generally get back on Xbox just so I can get Doom now.
Oh no, I completed the first game, the first Doom, because I don't want to spend that much money on the second Doom. But since I'm I like speed runs, and the speed run Doom community, like the Doom Eternal community, in the first 2 months they found a glitch, which means they could complete the game in under 10 minutes. They would they would basically use their mouse wheel to jump across maps and glitch through the entire map, which allowed you to go from the start of the game right to the end of the game in under 10 minutes. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they patched the glitch, but the first couple months it came out, it's ridiculous. I know. The amount of things people find in video games.
Literally.
Shit. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that was gaming roundup for this month and the last few months. If another episode comes out, we'll update on that. But let's get on to our main topic, which is stereotypes of teenagers and how they're portrayed in society, the generations. So
wait, so do you want to talk about should we first talk about how the different what time the different generations are? For example, boomers are after the World War II.
Yeah, so you've got baby
Yeah.
boomers, which was obviously after the World War.
I thought it was boomers and baby boomers.
No,
Yeah,
a baby
that's the
boomer
same
is
thing. They're the same thing.
Wait, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you've got baby boomers. Then is it
millennials.
Gen X, isn't it? And then millennials.
No,
and
yeah,
then Gen Z.
millennials are 1981 to 1960. Millennials are 1981 to 1996, and then Gen Z. Gen Z is the one we're in, and that one's very debated against because people normally say Gen Z are normally people. Yeah, so Gen Z is normally around 2000s, 2000, and normally it's a bit.
19. It's like 1999 to
I think it's
2000.
So yeah, so it's,
Something like
2010, something like that. So yeah, normally so millennials are anywhere from the 1980s to 2000s, and then we're from anywhere from the 2000s to around 2010, a bit maybe a bit more than that. I'm not too sure.
I've heard that there's going to be a new generation called Generation Alpha.
Yeah,
And
and
it's going to be going through the Greek alphabet.
So yeah.
How cool would it be to be like generation?
I know. Why do we
Yeah.
have
Why do we
Alexa?
get Z or Z?
Z?
Like, I want to be Omega or like Alpha. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
be
because
Jenna
so
Mega.
right, so here it says
How sick does that sound?
yeah, because like but like also think that when people in Gen, if you're in Gen Alpha, like we're gonna be like in the 20s, because the average age of Gen Z is anywhere from 1996 to 2015. This is what it says here, which
Being
is
in like the highest of Gen Z would be like what, mid, like
the high
20s?
20, just under mid 20s, so 24 roughly 24.
Hmm.
So if you're 24, then you're still a Gen Z technically. You're not really a millennial, since because I guess if you were born in 1996, you've kind of you lived through the through the start of the mobile phase, and the mobile age.
Yeah.
And like we're talking, the really old games, before
Yeah.
we were born, because since we were born in 2005-6, so this was a bit after, this bit before the mobile age, which is kind of insane.
But yeah, let's talk about how teenagers are portrayed in the media.
Okay. So, in my opinion, right, I think that the generation above us, which is like millennials or even like baby boomers, I think they look at teenagers as these moody, sort of like almost like childrenish type people who are just like who are just like still sort of childish, but also like
Yeah.
You see, I don't think millennials think that, since millennials have had so like in the news, it's like millennials are ruining everything. If a couple of maybe a year ago, there was all like, oh, millennials are ruining chocolate spread or something. It was sort of like, so
they're ruining the color.
yeah. So like millennials, I think millennials are the ones who get like most criticized for, which we're not in, because we're not millennials. But it's more, I think, the older generation. We're talking boomers. The baby boomers. They're probably the ones that look down on us, because maybe even like they're just a bit older, since like let's look, my dad is he doesn't, he's like very, our phones are making your attention span short, right? Which
My
he's not even a boomer
like that. But
yeah.
I mean, he uses his phone more than me, and he
My dad,
still
yeah.
says like, "Oh, get off your phone. No phones here, no phones there." And
Yeah,
like, to be
so-
honest, I don't blame him. Okay, because I get the fact that when they were small, phones were like literally like brand new.
No, they weren't there. Like the bet. When my dad was a
when
kid,
when they were like growing
Yeah.
up, like when they were like our age,
Yeah.
like phones had literally just like mobile
being invented.
phones.
Yeah,
I feel like now like it's normal to have a mobile phone.
yeah. Like
Exactly,
7-year-old kids have
exactly.
mobile
You like
phones.
tap your pockets to be like, oh, where's my phone? Like for example, if you're in a situation where like it's awkward, the first thing you would do or the first reaction you would have is to pull out your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like
It's
how,
quite
yeah.
funny how like my dad is like, he's all like, oh, I don't want you to be on your phone all the time. I don't want you to be on your computer all the time. And yet both my mum and my dad have better phones than me.
And it's also like oh, when we were
My
kids, I
dad
went
has
outside,
an S10, and I think my mum has got like a A90. Like it got released in July or something.
Oh, but like they're all like, oh yeah, go outside, like we do, like we literally go outside, we don't spend all our time locked away in our house. Okay, we spend a lot, but
If anything, we spend more time outside our house in school than in our house.
anyway,
I feel
yeah.
like
If you
we
don't count
didn't have
sleeping.
school, like if we didn't have school, for example, me during lockdown and quarantine, I was mainly indoors.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Well,
really
that's
go out
because you were
much.
instructed to be indoors.
Yeah.
No, but even like a quarantine, like where you're allowed to go out and start doing stuff, and before school started, I still decided to stay indoors because I like being indoors.
I mean, that's personal preference, pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas
I couldn't stand
I
it,
liked
though.
being indoors, right? But also I wanted to go and see people. I wanted to go and see people that I hadn't seen for months.
However, actually, quarantine actually showed a lot of elder people and a lot of people who are like, there's still people who are like, the stigma with working at home. I think a lot of people realize that, okay, maybe these kids who spend all their time on computers, maybe they're not doing, maybe they're not always just playing games. Okay, they might actually, if we didn't have, imagine not having a computer in lockdown. It would have been horrible. Doing all your homework off your phone, I think it would be impossible. So I think
books.
yeah. So like I think you know
I'm joking, but honestly, computers. I think like lockdown has made the older generations realize how useful these pieces of technology really are.
we have the last 2 million years of our you know of our race, of the human race at our fingertips. You know, like we can
yeah.
literally, you know, Einstein actually had to think. We could just look up all of Einstein theories and then learn them. You know,
Einstein should have had an iPad.
yeah. So overall, it's just incredible how, you know, I think you know the coronavirus and like the lockdown has actually showed us how important it is, like how important computers and like technology have become. Obviously, we can't spend all our time like they said.
Exactly.
But they are important to our, you know, they've become important to our society. You know, because
and we'll get on to in a bit. You know what we use it for and what we've been doing during lockdown and since schools have opened up. But yeah, I want to talk about now how we can erase these stereotypes.
What, of that we just like sit indoors and do nothing all day?
Well, but the media portray teenagers in this way, in this, you know, sense of like, oh, they're always indoors and all they do is smoke weed and, you know,
do horrible stuff.
Exactly.
In reality, it's a small percentage of us. So you know,
yeah, exactly. But
it's always
the media don't account for that small percent. They put it as a generalization.
Like a lot of kids nowadays don't, you know, do all these horrible things. They're actually, you know, are still kids and who like want to enjoy their childhood. Who want to, you know, they're doing normal things like talking.
Well, we are doing normal things, I think.
And you know, actually enjoying their youth or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, the media then pushes all this pressure on them to be, you know, an adult, to be more mature, to be you know, someone better. Where in reality, they're basically already that, but they just want to enjoy who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is part of the purpose of this podcast, is to put into perspective for the older generations and people who are just misunderstood what teenagers are really like in day-to-day life.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of, you know,
we're just
kids.
Put it perfectly. We are just kids.
Yeah.
And the media telling us to always, you know, act like the adult, you know, man up. That is what puts pressure. And yeah, it is pressure. It's what puts pressure on teenagers.
Yeah,
to do
and that's
things.
why you know, and it's you know, yeah. If you wanna, if the reason why lots of, you know, teenagers are depressed isn't because, you know, we want to like we're trying to, you know, like get, we're trying to just we're being sad for the sake of it. You know, lots of teenagers are, you know, depressed because of this, of like the fact that, you know, we aren't good enough. You know, like
school and, you know, education system puts so much pressure on us because now we have to learn so much more. Then I feel like, you know, it's more pressure on us to work hard and get a job and fit in society.
GCSEs are the most pressuring thing.
Yeah.
I like literally whenever someone brings up like grades for GCSEs and what you need to learn to get this grade, I'm bricking it, honestly.
It's like you have 2 years to learn all this material for like what 7, 8, 9 different subjects, and you have to do them all within a span of all the tests are in like a span of a month. Good luck.
It's all this pressure to, you know, you have to do well in life. You have to get a good job, you know.
And you know,
there's a lot of pressure on teenagers to be what the world wants them to be. And in a world where nobody cares about your feelings
and emotions as well, because I feel like that's why kids are more depressed, because one, it's also just hormones. Like a lot of children nowadays.
Oh
are
yeah,
getting,
definitely.
like there is. I'm pretty sure it's scientific or something like that. Whereas like it's more guaranteed for kids nowadays to be more upset, and that's also have something to do with technology. But in a way, it also helps them. It also,
Yeah,
It's
feel
another
like-
world for them
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it's an escape.
yeah,
open up, and there's so many good sides
yeah.
about technology.
We're the first, yeah, the Gen Z, Gen Z, yeah, Gen Z is the first generation that has properly grown up in like fully technology, like not millennials since they were born before, the whole era. So yeah, we are the first, yeah, group. We're the first, generation to be born in technology. We're the first generation to be born around phones, smartphones, computers. We didn't have to have flip phones when we were kids. We had actual touch phones. We've grown up in this generation of technology, and it might be the fact that it's the technology's fault, but it's also we rely on it, right? We rely on the loss of technology. The reason people listen to music because they enjoy it, right? People listen to music to get away from the life from the outside world. People play video games to release steam,
Exactly.
and like why do get people play GTA 5 because why they're trying to blow up
Yeah,
things up,
exactly. Why do people play Doom? You wanna
smash
calm
some
down by
zombies' heads in,
smashing some zombies' heads in.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Why
But
do people watch movies?
yeah, I think hobbies are another thing that are misunderstood about teenagers. What do teenagers do in their spare time? They go out to the park with their goddamn skateboards, and they go in the skate park and they smoke weed, and you know, they're always goddamn swearing.
but no, it just for
But
example, if you do
in
pick
it,
up a skateboard and
like
go to a skate park, you're just having fun. Like you're not doing anything bad. You just
exactly. Whereas, like, some kids do that, fair enough, but that is not the majority. That is
Yeah.
that is literally like the very minority.
And also,
of
like, I think,
kids.
I think a lot of
But-
people, yeah.
and
I
peer
feel,
pressure as well is also a massive thing. So when these people are saying, "Oh, teenagers always smoke weed and do all these horrible things," or in reality, some kids do actually get peer pressure to do those kinds of things, where like they do get pressure to do these things, and yes, it is horrible. But at the end of the day, that is not every single kid, and not
Yeah.
every single kid is doing those kinds of things.
I also think a lot of the reason why there's a big stigma is because a lot of older generations have forgotten, and it's very different. Like since when they were teenagers,
It's a
like
very different world now.
when my mum was a teenager, she didn't have a phone. She didn't, like she lived in the countryside, and like she lived down in Cornwall. Like it's and like when she was a kid, she couldn't just message her best mate when like there was when like they lived 30 minutes away. They couldn't message each other on their phones. They had to like see each other at school. That's the only time they'd ever be able to see each other, which is it's just it's crazy to think that it's crazy. It's hard for people who are older, even in the 30s to 40s, to know what we're going through, because even though at the end of the day teenagers are still the same, back when my mum was a kid, it doesn't mean that we were a different teenager. It's just a different times, different things. We have there was more thing we have. My mum didn't have computers. She didn't have all these things available to her. And it's just different. It's just a different time, and lots of adults and lots of older people don't understand what it is to be a teenager now, right? What it is to be a
Okay.
teenager. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
definitely.
think if the generation before us had to do a lockdown? What do you think would happen?
Like what happens? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
What
so
happened?
if lockdown happened when our
When
parents
like
were kids?
millennials were like
Yeah,
teenagers,
yeah.
or like baby boomers were teenagers, what do you think would have happened?
Like nothing. They couldn't talk to their friends. They couldn't do schoolwork. How would they be able to do schoolwork? They wouldn't. They just wouldn't. It'd be
With,
very.
Exactly.
It would be,
Corona, like, if Corona was back then, it would be so much more worse because like all of us, all kids nowadays, basically have a computer or a phone to entertain them. As back then, they didn't have any of that stuff, so they would.
not just that. Yeah.
It's
like,
not even for entertainment. It's literally because like we have still got an education because
Yeah.
of these computers.
Yeah. And not
Like,
just that, yeah.
We
Literally.
haven't missed out on 6 months of education
and,
because
and
we
look,
have these computers.
And now all the older, all the adults, I'll just instead of now that they have phones, they can watch movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So my all everyone's parents are probably whilst in lockdown, they probably watched movies or they were like
Yeah,
we were able
I know
to,
a friend who did like a movie night every single Friday and like a roast dinner on Sunday, where like they came together as a family and just sat together and actually
Exactly.
talked
Yeah,
and
it's really nice.
So like overall, for example, I was able to see my entire family, like my grandma, my cousins, my aunties. We were all able to like talk to each other because of technology, because of the fact that one lives. Yeah, I've got aunties and who live in Australia and Berlin.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to talk to someone who lives across the other side of the world in Germany? I can't talk to them. So the best thing is,
But that's the beauty of it, you see. Because I managed to speak to family in Italy. I've got family in Belgium as well. And I've got family in Spain. That a lot of people have family across the world, and they were all going through different things in this lockdown. So it's quite good to have that connection to see where everyone is and see if they're doing okay. Because
In your opinion, what do you think the school should have opened so early? Do you think it? Like,
yeah,
should have...
I think I'm happy that schools are open. To be honest,
I think
do you think it's right that we are going to school right now?
it is. I think a second wave was inevitable because at this time of year, you've got the common cold going around. You've got a chill going around, and I think that will make the virus, worse because
no, not worse. It's very hard
catch
to know.
a cold.
Yeah.
It's hard to immunize because people have a cold that it opens them up to more things.
No, not
so
just
they can
that.
easily catch the virus.
It's not just that. It's also difficult to know who's who. Let's say someone has a cold and someone has
exposure.
Yeah, let's say someone has the cold and someone has the coronavirus. We don't know which one has which, so both of them are going back home. So if you get the cold, it doesn't matter if you don't have corona. You could do a test. It doesn't matter if you've got corona. If you're coughing because of the cold, you should stay back at home because you don't know whether you've got corona or the cold, which is going to make it a lot harder. A lot more kids are going to be out. And obviously, with the whole corona, it means that if you want to skip school, you can just tell your mum that you've got a cold and bam, No
How
school.
many kids have done that in our school?
I think it's dumb because these kids who are actually generally got corona and colds and all these things and have to sit out for 2 weeks, they're not being set any work. So especially for people who are doing GCSEs now, A levels, all those kinds of things. They are missing out on so much education.
I think you can just email the teachers, right? I think you can probably just email
Yeah.
Yeah, but people in my class have emailed teachers and they've literally said, "Oh, it's fine, just do it when you get back."
Yeah.
I think because if they're ill with corona, they'll get set work because they have to, isolate for 2 weeks or whatever.
Well, I know you can just get a
just a
test if you don't want to isolate for 2 weeks.
If it's just a cold that you've caught and you have to stay off, or if for example, your parents are getting a test and you have to stay off, you won't be getting set work because teachers will just think that you're going to be off for a few days and that's it.
But yeah, like
But isn't there like a lack
all
of
in all, I think
it was all right. Good.
Yeah.
For schools to open.
Okay, so I think eliminating stereotypes. I don't think this is the fault of teenagers because you're always going to get the ones, that do go out and go to the skate park and smoke stuff and
and who broke.
You know what I mean? That
Steal
minority
things, steal things,
stereotype that has become the generalization. I don't
of
think
most
we can
of
do
most
anything
groups.
about that because we, the majority of people don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's up to the media and up to people in the media to show the rest of the communities and the rest of the generations that teenagers aren't all that bad.
We aren't just needy people who
Exactly.
hate everyone. We don't hate everyone. You know, we're just kids. You know, we just want to be kids.
Exactly.
We've got 4 years left. In 4 years, you know, we're 18. After that, we're
I have
adults. You know,
3 years.
Mhm.
I don't have that long.
I
I have 3
know.
years.
Like we very very soon, in the blink of an eye, we're gonna be you know we're responsible people apparently. You
We're
know?
gonna be adults.
Yeah. Oh God. So yeah.
Adults.
So we don't have much time until we're you know quote unquote you know responsible kids, right? Responsible adults. So you know we have to
I
you know
love how
save the
you say
time that we've
quote
got left.
unquote.
Yeah. Yeah.
We may be responsible.
Yeah. You know possibly, but we're
But
very
yeah,
short amount of time left.
I think it's down to the media and for the older generations to come to a realization. The older generations need to realize that, like, you know, what we actually do and how we
Mhm.
actually behave and how we actually are as people.
And most,
And
yeah, most
you know,
most old
some do.
people.
I'm not saying that all of the older generations think we're all like that, because to be honest, there are a good few that do. But it's also
Fair.
down to the media to not portray teenagers in this way, because that is what fuels those stereotypes.
Because you know, teenagers, you know, we might be kids, but at the end of the day, we know who we are, right? You know, and we're getting older. You know,
Definitely.
we still just want to be kids. You know.
But
at the
you
end
know
of the
what
day.
annoys me is as adults who generally think we're still 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we may be, you know, teenagers, but we're also not children.
Yeah.
Like
We're
and
in
it's-
that dead
I
zone
get
in the
hands.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the middle. You know, we still want to be. We still want to. You know, we're still kids, but we're not like you know 4 years old. We don't need nappies anymore. You know. We can
yeah,
walk to school on our own, you know.
Yeah. If you want to share your opinion, or if you have any things that you think we could have added to that, drop a comment down below, and we'll be sure to look at it or add it
Make sure
in.
you hit the like button. I'm sorry.
No, do because it gets the word out there.
Do it.
It gets the word out there. It does.
That is true. Right.
And while you're down there, make sure you subscribe, and hit the bell just so you can see when any future podcasts come out, and you'll be the first ones to know about it.
This
Right.
reminds me of like, you know, those videos where it's like, you have 10 seconds to subscribe.
You have 10 seconds to subscribe, or you get 5 years of bad luck.
That's exactly how they go.
Nico
Oh my god,
Milano.
that's perfect. It's got like some like you know copyrighted music on it. Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, let's move on.
so like the random bit, right? The bit where
this is going to
we
be a
just
bit of
talk.
general chat.
Anything.
So, what's going on in the world at the minute? What's going on
Well,
in
actually,
our world? And what's
I thought we were
Trump
gonna talk
got
about hobbies.
corona.
I
Trump got
want to
corona.
talk. I want to talk about hobbies, because I feel like we've got some interesting hobbies. Eddie.
Well, a couple around a couple months ago, I picked up this site called Blender. It's a 3D design site, and you know you basically you can create 3D models, 3D structures. You know, it's a pretty complicated site, but it's basically that's the simple version. It also has like an editing site. It's basically you know it's like a bunch of tools in one, right? And I wanted to learn how to do it, so I've been trying to practice. You know, it's a bit complicated, you know. So I've been trying to, you know, practice how to use it and just to, you know, mess around in it. Since it's, you know, I people are like, oh, get, you know, you have to get a hobby, make it, you know, instead of not
Yeah,
doing
I
anything
think
for
this
6
is another
months, right?
people's-
So
I think this is
So I
another
decided-
thing that people don't really understand, is that like I don't think any like older generation would think that a teenager would be doing 3D modeling as a hobby. You know, that just shows that, you know, we don't just you know sit and play games like 24/7. Like, people actually have lives, and these are like hobbies that people do. Like,
Yeah. But also because I can't be asked to like learning instruments. I can't do. You know, I've got a guitar, but I'm too lazy to learn a guitar.
I mean,
I'm just like, that takes effort.
No, but like also like why would I learn a guitar when I've got when I can just learn something on my computer? I've been using computer since I was since I was like 9, 10. So it's easier for me to use something that I already know I'm comfortable with, which is a computer.
on the contrary, I've just passed my grade 4 drum exam. And yeah, I haven't really picked up my guitar in a while either. But yeah, my main hobby is making music, as you'll know if you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you. But yeah, I made a song in lockdown, about how the world is at the minute, which I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's really good.
Yeah, if you want to listen to it, link is in the description. I'll put it in.
Linking yourself, damn.
Wow, yeah,
Gotta get that
self promotion, self promotion.
Anyone else want to plug?
You're gonna talking about your merch now. What?
I have merch.
Yeah, you don't. I'm just saying that's what all YouTubers do.
Should I make merch?
No, you should not make. You should not make merch.
Oh, we should make Spectator Mode merch.
Comment down below if you'd buy our merch.
Yeah, our merch be sick. Epic merch.
It should just be like a pin or something.
But yeah,
I'm like the opposite. Music's I can't do anything to do with music.
I mean, Eddie, you made a song as well.
Yeah,
Eddie made a song with me. I produced it, and Eddie wrote the lyrics.
Yeah,
we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a stupid song, but yeah. But overall, I can't be asked. Like music is just I don't know. It's something I wasn't born. Like I wasn't. I don't have the talent. I don't have the effort to learn how to play music since.
Fair enough. So Mayha, GCSEs.
Oh no.
What did you pick for your GCSEs?
I picked history, French, art, and media studies. And
okay. I picked DT, which is product design. So product design, I chose history, triple science, and media studies.
And Spanish.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I chose Spanish.
Well, you're taking the exam.
Yeah, okay. Es que porque yo puedo hablar español, ¿sabes? It's because I just said it's because I can speak Spanish. Of course. I took the exam because it's not going to be that difficult. All I need to learn is how to read Spanish.
Yeah.
I can write it. I mean, I can read and speak it. I'm all right at writing, but if I learn how to write it fluently, then bam, it's going to be an easy high score for me. Since,
I mean, I'm taking Italian as an extra, and I'm pretty much the opposite. I can translate something for the first time seeing it with perfectly.
Yeah, I can.
Whereas
well.
And I could have a decent conversation with someone, but sometimes I struggle on what to respond with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it's because you didn't really live that long in your country. Since I spent 6 years, six entire years in Spain.
I lived there for about a year.
Yeah.
Whereas Eddie spent 6 years.
I can remember my time in Spain. I can remember me living in Spain, which is probably the reason why I can speak. Since I was, I people say, oh, I speak better when I, go to the country and I live in, right? So, I was literally born in the country, this language I can speak, which makes sense why I can speak, why my Spanish is pretty good.
Going to other countries is the best way to learn that language. Literally just being around people that speak that language.
But it's also something that's good is the fact that I'm able to learn. I've kept my Spanish accent, which is good since I don't sound like my mom can speak Spanish, but she sounds Spanish.
Your mom
but
has
not
a good accent,
But she sounds from different parts of Spain. I don't exactly know which part of Spain she sounds from. But I sound like sound like I'm from Madrid because I am from Madrid. But same like my dad and my sister, all of us sound like from Madrid. I don't know how the word is, but yeah, we're from Madrid. But she doesn't sound like she's from Madrid since her Spanish is she's got a very English accent when she speaks Spanish, and that accent it's like a light Spanish. The way when it sounds very light, which is like the south of Spain. No, never. Yeah, the south.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the south of Spain. Yeah, she sounds like she's from the south of Spain. Well, she's not. She's English, but she sounds like she's from the south of Spain, not in the middle.
So we've all got a GCSE in common, haven't we?
Yeah, media studies.
Media, which is actually how this podcast came about.
Except me, I'm not.
He's not.
Well,
no,
I mean, you're
anyone on our
well.
class.
I think I should
still doing
move
it.
in. I think I should move into your class.
Oh,
I'll
Yeah,
serve if I
you
can move into your class.
should. You should.
Hey, Antonio Mayhall's teacher, please let me move into your class.
yeah,
pretty
come
please.
on, Mr. Taylor. I know you're listening.
Please.
Pretty please.
He probably is actually.
Yeah,
He has to. He has to mark this. So
Yeah.
he has
Oh
to
yeah.
Yeah, just leave that in. Leave that in, and then bam, you know.
leave it in. We're done.
Mr.
Yeah,
Taylor,
that's about- yeah.
Eddie wants to move class.
Yeah, you know. I think you'll let me. You know.
It'd be so much fun.
I know, because then I can actually, you know, we can do all of us
Yeah,
three can do products
exactly,
together. You know, we can make things
exactly.
together. Thing is, and it would also technically, if I did move, it would be probably the best time to move since we've just kind of started.
I know a lot of my
yeah.
friends have also like changed subjects as well.
But I
was
mean, it would be a
debating
lot
about it.
easier for Eddie to move class rather than move subject, because I
Yeah.
don't think you're allowed to move subject anymore. I think like all of the sets are filled up.
Really?
Yeah, like I think it
no.
was only the other day. No,
Oh.
actually, there's one space open for triple science, and that's it.
No.
Wait,
thank you.
really? But like,
Yeah.
since I'm not changing sets, all I have to do is move different classrooms. You know, I'm just saying, you know, maybe, possibly.
Uh-huh.
Maybe is your classroom really full, like super full?
It's not
No,
that cool. Like,
Okay,
there's still
maybe.
spaces.
I'd say there's about what, like 22 people in our class.
I
Yeah.
might be able to, you know,
23.
if it 50-50, there might be a chance. But
There's enough space for you.
yeah, because you know, if we're all together, then you know, it's like what's it called? Like we work off each other really well. You know, like the flow of work. You know,
Uh-huh.
when you have people who you know, things like this, the podcast, it
Yeah.
becomes easier. Imagine doing this
Yeah.
podcast with someone you've never talked to before. That'd be so
Uh-huh.
awkward.
That'd be really difficult because you just
Like it's already nerve-wracking enough making a podcast like this.
with
but,
your
like-
friends.
It's good though. It's been good fun, actually.
Yes.
We've got about 7 minutes left of the podcast.
7 minutes.
So, is there anything that we want to?
How do you
round up
guys
on?
build a PC? My
How do you
question.
guys build a PC?
Yes.
Meha, you can talk about how you're building
Well,
a piece.
Meha, you built your PC. You just can't
It's
connect it
built.
to your monitor.
Wait, can you not fit?
Why?
Wait, what? Is your monitor? So wait, which port do you have for the monitor? Is it the blue one, the big blue cable?
What do you mean, big blue cable?
Like, as in, like you got the
VGA.
monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which cable runs out of the monitor? Is it HDMI, right?
HDMI. It's
Good.
HDMI.
Okay. So it's a new computer. It's not a monitor. It's not an old
We're
one.
not
like I
doing
have.
this now. We're not doing this now.
I'm just saying.
Basically,
I'm just like,
okay,
don't you? Yeah.
the issue is I've built my PC all from scratch. I got all the parts by myself, and it won't connect to my monitor. Like it won't signal or anything like that. I think there might be a problem with the motherboard,
Yeah.
or there might just be a power cable that's connected.
Or maybe I think it's one of them. Or but you haven't broken anything, because if you broke something, it'd be
I've
there. But
probably broken something.
yeah, there's definitely something. It's something's not connected, or you've connected the wrong things. Since if you don't connect, because the motherboard is like the mother of the computer in the name, and you might have not
Funny.
connected. You probably haven't broken it. You probably just put something wrong in the motherboard, which is normally 90% of the problem.
Well, I'm gonna spend like most of tomorrow trying to fix it up. So hopefully.
What are you
it's-
using? A bad laptop?
Yeah, I'm using my
Yeah.
laptop
Oh,
because I have my like laptop connected to like a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse.
wow.
So, it's basically like my laptop's basically just a PC.
Well, I mean,
with-
Eddie gave me a monitor. And I got home and then realized that my laptop doesn't have a VGA port. So I
Oh,
can't even
your
use
laptop's
it.
too new. My laptop has a VGA cable. That's how old it is. We're talking. My laptop's 7 years old, I think. That's a lot. I know.
Damn.
Like I cleaned it out a couple months ago, and there was like a long strip of what's it called, dust in the fan. I'm talking like
Oh,
I'm talking. My
yikes.
computer would overheat in maybe the first 45 minutes of playing with it. That's how quick it would overheat. So yeah.
What?
So yeah, maybe I should have probably cleaned it out in the last 6 years I've been using it. So
Probably.
I mean,
just
I've
not.
only had my laptop nearly a year. It'll be a year in November.
I think I've had mine a year, nearly 2 years.
Well, I'm gonna sell it to my dad to make some money. Because
I'm
if
gonna
I
keep
because
my
you
laptop even when my
no,
PC's
thing
built.
is the
gonna
problem
be
is all he's gonna use a laptop. He wants a laptop because he can watch movies in a bigger screen, right?
Yeah, he
And he
just
did
watches
literally
his
yeah.
movies on his phone.
Like
bless him.
literally, my dad, all he wants a computer for is to watch movies, but he doesn't want to spend any money, right? So I'm just gonna sell him my computer, make a bit 100 quid, 100 quid with it, and bam,
See, I'm
I
gonna
can get
sell my brother my old laptop
yeah,
because he's
so
already using it. So I may as well make some dosh off of it.
yeah, some dollars, because I can't. Okay, I'm not. I
dough.
can't. My laptop, I just can't sell it anymore. I could sell it, but there's so many things wrong with it. Like there is massive like block. Like there's a weird like I don't know what it is, but there's something. The port for what's it called electronics like like Wi-Fi, yeah. The Wi-Fi
Ethernet.
port, the one that makes your
Yeah.
Wi-Fi run
Ethernet.
quicker. Yeah, Ethernet, that's it. It's broken. Like there is something stuck inside of it, and I can't take it out. I know it's stupid. Like it's just a massive block. It's stuck inside of it.
There's no point in me selling my laptop because it can barely run Roblox. So there is like 0 point in me selling it because it's just trash. And I feel sorry for the person who's gonna
Yeah,
get it
you
next.
may as well just keep it and use it for like
Yeah.
homework or something.
That's
Oh, I'm gonna buy myself.
think it-
I want to buy myself since what's it called? Alienware. You guys might
Alienware,
Alienware is it's a very
Dell.
expensive brand. Yeah. Well, Alienware is so lots of their laptops are going down price since they're releasing a new one, which means I might just save up another 500 quid and buy myself a really good laptop so I can play video games on that laptop when I go to like my grandma's house. So
What? So you want to
Yeah.
buy your PC and then buy an Alienware?
yeah, but
laptop?
I'm not gonna buy it straight away. Maybe 7-8 months later. But
7,
Yeah.
8 months.
yeah,
I guess that's fair.
I'm not gonna buy it straight away. I'm gonna save up my money because I was planning to buy a Oculus Rift, but I'm probably not anymore since there's no point. So yeah, I'll just
I don't
and
have
anyway
the
that
space anywhere for a VR headset.
the thing is that Alienware laptop I can use for homework. I can take it to
Exactly,
school.
yeah.
I can and not just that.
No,
I can,
you would not
and if
take
I
an
need to play video
Alienware
games.
laptop to school, Eddie. That
Yeah,
would
I'm
get
taking.
stolen.
Of course.
No,
No,
but
I'll learn Taekwondo. It's fine.
if you're doing A levels and stuff like that, I swear you have to take a
No,
laptop.
you need no. I don't think you have one. You have to need one, but like they recommend you buy one since they're super important. And like think about it. Imagine doing my homework in 120 FPS. Easy. Because the reason
Said
why
no
I
one
want to
ever.
be strong. No, but like the reason I want a strong laptop is because I can do everything. And also since I want to learn a bit more with 3D design, my laptop
you
now that I
need a
have right
quick
now.
laptop,
Oh my
yeah.
god. Okay. The 3D design platform, the Blender one, oh my god, it strains your computer so hard. It like literally makes your computer when you're like rolling up like a towel that's soaking wet. Yeah, it literally stretches it until the towel
Rinsing your
breaks.
computer.
That's like it's wringing out my towel so dry that my computer feels like it's gonna stop smoking. So it's gonna set on light the second because you can render things. And you can render things in a different mode, and one's called Cycles, and Cycles destroys everything. Like I switch it on, and my computer starts burning in flames. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna need a really strong laptop to if I want to do it outside.
Aren't we all?
So yeah, so
Well,
that's why
I
I'm thinking of,
I think we're gonna have to round it off there. We've got 40 seconds on the clock.
40 seconds. You've been that was okay.
Yeah, I think we should finish here.
Well, it was
I
good,
think
but
for the first episode,
it was pretty
that
good.
has been pretty banging.
I halfway through the episode,
It's
bit of nerves, but now it's like relaxed.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can talk
I
about what
think-
we want.
I think
It's like you
I
have to
think
get
it's
through
gone
like the
really well.
first bit and then you're fine.
Yeah, I think it's gone really well. Actually,
Yeah,
for
I
the
think it's
first
gone great.
episode.
I want my pizza. I want pizza. My pizza.
Thanks,
Pizza,
Eddie.
McDonald's, oh my god.
If you enjoyed, please let us know.
We might
You
do another one.
can drop a comment down below, or you can email me. Please subscribe. Shut up. Please subscribe. Show some support. And hopefully we can do another one. You guys
I
down
hope
for
it's
another one?
I hope I get.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah, I want to get into your media studies class.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes.
Pretty please. I have no
Mr. Taylor,
friends.
Pretty
please. And on that note, goodbye.